Well, basically, I sent out a news release today. I was at an event yesterday in Orange County in Newburgh with that Bill Larkin, Senator Larkin, put on. So when I got back to the office today, I found out that after 4 years from the date the Bond Act was passed, there's approximately 400,000 or a very small percentage of the money that's either been approved or got out the door. I don't know the division between approved and got out the door. And I know that I also learned that there's 250 school districts that have applications pending for money from 4 years ago. And to me, that's wrong, especially since one of the approved uses for this money is school safety and security technology, such as video cameras, hardware at the doors to make sure that nothing is brought in that's improper, devices to protect the students in the schools. And this particular superintendent was saying that he had a video camera proposal in, and he just couldn't get it approved. He's just waiting and waiting and waiting. Now, that shows either one of two things. It shows total incompetence with the bureaucracy to take 4 years to approve applications and get the money to the schools, especially it could be used for school safety. That's number one. Or the other possibility is it's the same old MO that we've seen, and that is that's come out of that corruption trial. Namely, there was a testimony in Syracuse where the governor wanted a new stadium that nobody knew about, including the mayor, but he wanted to get that information out, and he got mad when it got out too early because that was an election year, and he was trying to make sure it had the biggest possible effect politically. And I've got a feeling that it could be one of either two ways, two things, either the bureaucratic bungling or intentionally holding the money for his press releases as he leads up to the election. And I think, so I'm calling on the governor to either correct the bureaucratic inefficiency and also, again, to explain why it takes 4 years to get this thing done. And is he just holding it back for his campaign? And that's what I have to say about that.
So who's responsible for administering the money? It isn't the state education department?
I think it may be the dormitory authority. I don't know. I think it's probably...
But it's within his administration.
It's within the administration. Mm-hmm. I mean, he administers, or an authority that he has control over, the board. And the fact of the matter is, it's the Bond Act approved by people for these schools. And why should it take 4 years to get that done? Unless it's for reasons other than safety in the schools or technology in the schools.
Senator, I apologize if you went over this, but can you tell us what is the percentage, what amount of money was approved and what has been dispersed?
$2 billion was approved by the voters. 400,000, the answer I got, 400 million to date has either been approved or has been paid. So giving everybody the benefit of the doubt, let's assume $400 million went out the door of $2 billion after 4 years of this project being approved, 3.5 years to be precise. So that's unacceptable, and especially what brought it to my attention when we had this meeting with superintendents and police, how we got to secure the schools, what's the best thing to do. When a superintendent gets up, I've had an application in for several years waiting for cameras that would be very helpful to us, and all we do is keep getting it sent back for more information.
Do you have a breakdown of how much of the bond money is for school security?
I have
how much of that's been
I have no
dispersed?
idea. There's several legitimate reasons for use of the school aid. All I'm suggesting is whether they're being held up for smart boards or whether they're being held up for computers or whatever technology, those are all legitimate sources. But one legitimate source is school security, and at least an application out of Orange County has been held up all this period of time for more information. I don't know what more information you need. There's a video. One superintendent actually said, can't remember if it's the same one or not, which was even more amusing. It's been pending so long, they got a contact back saying you need new estimates because these are old estimates. I mean, if that doesn't show incompetence, I don't know what does.
What do you think is the cost to school districts of the delays?
Well, it costs the school districts if, let's suppose it's for technology like computers and the like. Kids haven't had that educational opportunity with that technology that the voters said the students would get. If it's for school safety, the cost could be very much greater than that if some incident takes place when the types of security enhancements that could have been gotten by this school district or school districts were not implemented simply because of a 4-year delay, either because of incompetence or because the governor wants to continue his basic philosophy of having ribbon cuttings, mostly in election years, with dollars that he has at his discretion when the dollars come out.
So as a senator, what power do you have to make inquiries? I mean, could you guys hold hearings on it, bring people in, ask them questions about where the money is, where it's held up?
Well, sure, we're asking questions now, and as our others are asking questions, but the situation is basically this. This governor does what he wants, when he wants to do it, whether it's right or wrong, whether it's legal or illegal. You just got to go each day and find another example. Yesterday, the example was with respect to his executive order that he put in place. His executive order saying you can't collect dollars in campaign contributions from your appointees. And not only was it his executive order, on his website, he has the exact language that says we cannot take contributions from appointees, and he does. So you can yell and scream and have news conferences and try to bring these things out, but his manner of doing business is do what he wants, when he wants to do it, whether right or wrong, or whether legal or illegal. So that's we keep trying, but in this budget, which is also interesting, he has many more indications of how he wants more authority, more discretion, which if we don't keep it out of the budget, that language, and it also eliminates some of the unbridled discretion that he has now, then we're not doing our job.